In this video we are doing a lap, a test, maxing out and a review of the Ubermacht, I did that last time, Ubermacht Zion Classic. Now this, I seem to say this an awful lot, I love this car, I really love this car, and I've got to say, someone at Rockstar loves BMW, because if you look at the quality of the replicas in the game, you've got the Zion, you've got the Sentinel Classic, you've got the Reinhardt. These are all really good and faithful replicas of the real cars that they're based on. And in the case of this one, it's a relatively unusual one. It's based on the BMW M6 from the 80s, which is something that as a kid I used to see driving around and think, what the hell do you do for a living that means you get a car that cool? You can still get these, but looking around you're going to need between 60 and £100,000 to get yourself in one of these. And to be honest, yeah, I'd say it's worth it because it's a gorgeous looking thing. Yeah, it deals with my obsession with square cars, but I think it's a pretty handsome looking thing anyway. Anyway, enough about what I think of the looks, and let's get on to whether this is actually something you should buy. Now, this is actually the prize ride this week, and since the introduction of drag races, the prize rides are easier to win than ever because the drag races do count towards the wins that can get you the prize ride, and they are easily the quickest and easiest way of getting first and second places in the races, which is usually what you need to win the prize ride. So around town, it's okay. I mean, that's all I can say really. It's okay. I'm gonna have to be honest, it's not a brilliant car in the game. It has an interesting style of handling. It has kind of quite a nice controllable four-wheel drift. And considering that in real life this had a humongous engine in the front and was rear wheel drive with little or no traction control, I think actually it was probably no traction control back in the 80s. I don't think a controllable four wheel drift is what you would have got out of one of these. But it's still, in the game, it's fun to drive. So let's get round to the top speed test and see how it does there. So let's just run through the top speed test. For anyone that's not familiar with this, or if you're new to the channel, I've measured out a distance of exactly a mile, so I thrashed the hell out of it over that mile and time how long it took me to travel it. Now what that gives you is slightly different to the theoretical top speed. It gives you the top speed you can actually achieve while you're weaving through traffic, so it's intended to tell you how usable the car is. And this one is okay, it's certainly nothing spectacular. And as we come up to this sign, that'll be the end of this, so let's see what we did. So reasonable, but nothing to write home about. One thing I should mention is that the Karin Sultan Classic is also on offer this week. That's another absolute must buy, and there is a full lap and review of that here if you want to go and have a look at that. Now as we hit this junction, this is where I've turned to my final thoughts and close the review out. Do I think you should get this car versus do I think you should buy this car? Do I think you should get this car? Yes, absolutely. It's the prize ride, which means it's free. All you've got to do is win a couple of races. There are plenty of races out there, but as I say, if you're not that into the racing but you want the prize ride, just do the drag races. I've been doing them, I've done some in the Calico, I've done very well in that. I've also, to be fair, I've done very well at the drag races in the Hellfire. So yeah, do I think you should get it? Yes, because it's the prize ride. Now, if you're watching this video when it isn't the prize ride, do I think you should buy it if it's on offer? I would have to go no on that, unless you are like me and you're a little bit geeky about the old 80s cars, because it's, if you really want to get all the 80s cars, it is a must have. It's so realistic and it's such a cool thing. But if it's for any other reason, I can't think of another reason that you should really get this. It's not particularly quick, it's not particularly nimble, it's reasonably good fun to drive, but there are a lot better cars in the game for this sort of money. It's just under $1 million usually. So let's have a look at what lap time it put in. So there you go, that's the final verdict. So yes, please do go and win it, but don't worry too much about buying it if you don't get to win it. Thanks so much for watching. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and I will see you all in the next video.